Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Anything Goes. My name is Andrew Deacon, and today proud to be joined by a man I had the honor of being there for his last fight. Obviously, Casey Kademi was the main event, but he was last on, so rightly so the main event. And what a main event it was, and what a way. It should have had more fans in the arena for that one because everyone had left after that. But Kane Morgan, how are you, my man?
I'm doing good, bro. How are you?
I'm great to have you back on the channel. I appreciate your support, doing a few lives with you, and we got you on here. So I want to talk about that. Let's go to the very beginning. Where did the desire come from for Kane Morgan to get into boxing and become a professional boxer?
Because I got into boxing from when I was young. Like I started at age 4. Like my dad was a pro boxer. He started at a pretty young age. My godfather was also a pro boxing trainer. He trained the likes of Michael Watson to fight Nigel Benn. He trained Kirk Lang. He trained Kirk Lang to fight Roberto Duran up in Detroit, and they got the win on that fight. So I come from a good boxing background. So yeah, that's where it all started. Because of the good men in my family that literally gave me the desire and the heart for it.
I love that. A historic boxing name and a historic family. Not only is it from your father, but it's your grandfather. It runs in your blood, and it's what you're destined to be. And obviously, big names, and he's passed it down. So let's talk about that. There, what gym do you train out of? Who's your head coach, and who do you train with?
Like I train at a gym called 12 Rounds and Buddha Boxing Mayfair. 12 Rounds is just up in Clapham Junction, and the other one just on Mayfair, not far from Green Park Station. I train up there, and my head coach here is my pro trainer, Greg Wright. And I train with people like sort of Prince and Nazim's son, Amit Ahmed.
Yeah.
And yeah, I train with him, and that's who I really train with at the moment. But there's other people that come in and comes out. We've got a couple Swedish pro boxers, but they're not really known like that. So yeah.
And another legacy name, another name from British boxing royalty. How's it training with Adam Hamid?
Like I knew Adam Hamid for a long time, and I knew him from when I turned pro, from my debut. Because when me and him used to train at Rathbone Boxing Gym, yeah, up in Tottenham Court Road with Daily Effect, and like Kenny all was up in the gym there as well. So it was all good. Then that's how I get to meet him.
And talk about your career now, delving into it. How many amateur fights and what was your amateur achievements? And did you take the amateur route or was it white collar for you? What was it?
No, it was a amateur route, yeah. But I had some juniors, but I never took the juniors seriously. So I left the boxing and got back into it when I was 21. Ended up having 8 fights as a junior. No, as a senior, sorry. 8 fights as a senior. And then I got a bit bored of the amateurs, so I wanted to turn pro. But I turned pro after when I had my few last fights in the Channel Islands with an amazing boxing club up in Jersey, Channel Islands, called Leonis ABC. They're really good clubs. You know, people should go over there and check them out. They're really good. Very, very good pedigree boxing as well.
I love that. And for fans that may know and follow the amateur circuit, were there any notable names that you'd fought in the amateurs?
There was a guy called Jamel Green. He's up and coming. I haven't seen much of him, but when I did see much of him, he's 2-0. I think he had about 2 knockouts. I ain't really too sure about him now. But yeah, haven't really fought anyone that turned pro after that.
Yeah, and let's turn to your professional career now. Your professional debut, God willing, and great that it wasn't a loss, but unfortunately wasn't the one that you wanted. It ended up being a draw against Josh Cook back in 2021 of September, of September. What do you make of that contest, and what did you feel? Was it the right time? Talk about your professional debut. Break it down.
You know, it's even my professional debut. Right? my opponent got changed at the last minute, so I didn't know who Josh Cook was. So Josh Cook, I just took him as okay, is a normal journeyman. But when I got in there, when I saw his record, and as well, like he was three at the time, he was 3 losses, no wins, only 3 fights. So he wasn't really a journeyman. So that was my first 50-50. So with someone that been there 3 times and lost 3 times, but he came to win.
Mm.
So 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 for me to go in there kind of blindly, not knowing too much of him. So I literally tried my best and then just boxed him. Like he was very, very tricky. He had like a very, very like a Philly shell kind of style of fighting. He's a really, really good fighter, but he was a bit taller than me as well. Really good fighter. I got a
Yeah,
lot
and
of respect.
oh, sorry about that.
I got a lot of respect for him.
Yeah, he's a great guy. One of the best journeymans, if not one of the best, one of the best journeymans in the country. And talking about journeyman, talk about someone that was messaging me your pro debut. He was asking me as a link to watch it. Where do you find it? And he managed to get it on YouTube on One Boxing Management. So we'll talk about that there very quickly before we go back onto the debut. How did it feel fighting on Warren Boxing Management in your recent fight? We won't break it down yet, but how did it feel fighting on such a mega platform?
Oh, it was amazing. It was good. I had just a good, amazing time fighting against a tough opponent that had a good amateur pedigree. Fought in the Europeans, the year before.
Mm.
Yeah, he was. Let me tell you, like Ishvan is amazing guy. Like I talked to him off the app. You know what I mean? He's really good. You know.
Yeah.
But it was the best. Let me tell you, that was the best performance that I fought after my time off boxing for 2.5 years. I had a good time and I really enjoyed it.
And we'll get back to that fight in a second, but because I was mentioning Journeyman and the name came to mind, was Jordan Granum. Talk about your relationship with Jordan Granum and how long you've known him.
I knew him for years, since I was like 13, because we boxed at the same amateur gym in Islington ABC. But Jordan Granum, he's close to like family to me, you know, like he's like an older brother to me, you know. I look up to him, you know. He's one of the best journeymen in Britain. So
100%.
you know what I mean? So he was a really really good amateur, 25-0, undefeated, and I always looked up to him, you know.
And I just have to ask it, but God willing you don't do it because obviously you're close to your family. Would you ever entertain a fight in a pro game with him?
Well, if I have to do it, I have to do it. You know what I mean? I don't mind fighting him. You know what I mean? But to me and doing Granum, we go a long way. But if I have to go past him, I have to go past him to be successful. You know.
Yeah.
You know. But it's just a business, you know.
Yeah.
But sometimes boxers don't want to fight people that they're close to. But he will bring the best out of me. You know.
It's kind of like in the UFC where you have like two people from the same gym and then they have to split and then they go against each other. Or for instance, one I think of most recently in boxing wise is Billum Smith and Lawrence Okolie, over 300 spars together under the same coach, and then they had split. But you talk about that there. Jordan, not only one of the best, if not the best journeyman in the country, like because he has a lot of it. You know, it's like he's a centurion as well. But he was like, okay, I'll ask him after some fights, and he said, oh, okay, the guy's putting pressure on me, and I had to just show him how you do it because you can turn it on whenever he wants, and that's what I love about Jordan. And he's truthful, gives it the truth, and so. Going back on a professional debut, Josh Cook, as you said, he wasn't a journeyman at the time. He had 0-3, but that doesn't regard you as a cliche journeyman. Maybe he took the away corner sometimes, but doesn't put you as a journeyman. He's a great journeyman now. And one thing he said, journeymen are unsung heroes of boxing, and you do need journeyman. Talk about the contest, and like you said, it goes from change of opponent. Do you remember your original opponent or no?
I think it was Luke Middleton.
Okay.
I remember the name, Middleton. I think it was Luke Middleton. That I remember that name strongly.
And did you focus a lot on him? Did you research him, or was it about, as many do for the professional debut, it's just bettering themselves and having the best version of themselves?
You know what? Yeah, I watched Luke Middleton fight one of my friends on a I think it was I think it was one of the boxing shows up in the Lee Valley. It was like a few years back. I think it's back
Uh-huh.
in 2018 on
Hmm.
a Premier Boxing
PBC.
Promotions.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
was like a few years back because I used to box for Emerton Eagles before I turned pro. Before I moved from Emerton Eagles to go to the Channel Islands to go and fight for them. So yeah, I remember seeing Luke Middleton on one of those shows fighting one of the guys I fought. So yeah, I pretty know that I could have outboxed him really well
And
for my
then
debut.
we Yeah, and then we go on to the pro contest. Do you believe it was a draw, or do you feel like you done enough to get the win on the night?
Do you know what? The more I watch it, yeah. At first, I thought I probably stole it, but no, like the fight was really close. You know, it was my first fight doing 4 rounds. First fight under the lights. First fight with front of a lot of people. It was like 2,000 people at the York Hall, so
Hmm.
it was pretty tough. So I was very nervous. I didn't warm up to like a later round, so it was a bit too
Hmm.
late for me to start trying to pick up the pace. You know, that's
Yeah.
why I done 6 rounds for the last fight.
And you talk about that there. Did you have any nerves? Did you have any jitters, or was it the perfect timing and destined to be, and you were happy to make your debut at that moment? Regardless, obviously, no one predicts a draw, no one ever predicts a loss.
No,
But like you said, both of you came there to win, and that's like you said. When I wouldn't say you underestimated him, but you just like you said, you took him how he was. But it was a hard fight. It was a close contest, and yeah. Did you have any nerves, or did you feel like that was the right time to turn over?
do you know what? I see that time. Yeah, I was eager. I was very eager to jump in and just show everyone that I'm a good boxer. You know, and yes, I was nervous. My first debut, I was nervous. I was literally, I'm never nervous, but that day, my heart was going, you know? But it's just one of those ones there is a learning curve for me, you know? So yeah, I was pretty much nervous for that fight there.
Before you go on to the second professional bout, what was your ring walk on the night, if you recall it, for your pro debut?
Yeah, but listen, like I decided to play some reggae for my ring walk. Like it's one of the it calms me. You know what I mean? Reggae
Mm.
calms me. It makes me have the nice rhythm in my head. So when I jump in the ring and do the fight, I have like a nice rhythm going. It keeps me relaxed. It keeps my heart steady. Music is like food to my soul, you know?
Love that. And now talk about that for the fans that don't know, and you've explained this to me before off camera, but talk about that 2.5 year to 3 year layoff. For the fans that don't know, talk about it. Why did you take such a long break?
Yeah, like I had time off because I was going through a lot of medical problems. Like I had prostate cancer. So I had to get myself back to good shape so I can get myself back into the ball of fighting again. But thank God, God's winning. I'm all healthy, I'm fit and ready for action again. So so yeah. So now I'm just looking after my temple now and just making sure nothing don't sidetrack me, you know?
And it's up to you if you want to go on to the topic, but how long did you have that for, and how hard was it outside of boxing? Because what people have to remember, they see a fighter on screen, they see the few minutes or the 12 to 36 minutes you're in the ring, and they see your little interview after, and maybe a little Instagram story and a clip, but they don't understand what goes on behind the scenes and what's going on personally with fighters. Like, how was that to deal with?
Do you know what? It was hard. Like obviously it affected me more the last year when I was going through the treatment, when I had to go for the treatment. But the years before that, it was like I know the first year I never knew that I had it. So it was like the years go past, I was getting tired every time. I was getting weak. I feel so. Then my mum was worried, so she decided to take me to hospital. And it turns out when I had the ultrasound that my prostate was enlarged. So I had to take the time off of a lot of things with work. I couldn't, because I've been on the railway as well, for on and off for 13 years. So doing the railway, that's when I started to notice it as well when I was trying to dig, and I can't dig because I was in pain.
And how long did it last?
It lasted. For, with symptoms. It lasted for about about 2.5 years.
And is it fully gone now? It's not
Yes,
one of
fully
those.
gone.
God
Fully
bless,
gone.
brother, and your family's proud, everyone's proud, and you're inspiring people in boxing. For those who don't know that, that's an inspirational story. People talk about weight loss, mental health issues, and those are what you see, and those are great inspirations and something that people take notice of, especially those who sympathize and empathize with those factors. But for someone like yourself, and there's probably not many, or if not, there's not many that open up about it. So I appreciate you doing that. So now we've gone to your second professional contest, which I was there. Like I said, I met you in the locker room, and they had your name as Kane Baker. I was like, no, Kane Baker's fighting tomorrow on the Matchroom card, which actually didn't go through. That's why I was confused. Like, that can't be Kane Baker. So everyone's trying to search on BoxRec and check. So Kane Morgan, and then Istvan Hazini in the main event on Box Nation. Would you say that was so far up to date, if not going to your third contest? Was that the biggest platform of your life fighting on?
Yeah, that was the biggest platform that I ever fought on in my whole life. And I picked that fight when I was meant to fight on like 2 weeks before that again. I was meant to fight Jordan Granham.
Yeah, no way.
Yeah, on the TM14 show.
TM14.
Yeah, and Nielsen show.
Yeah.
But then my fight got cancelled day before the fight.
Oh.
Yeah. So obviously on the day before the fight, I never knew who I was fighting. So they told me. So my manager told me he believes it was Jordan Granham. So then I got a phone call from my manager, said that the fight got cancelled. So yeah.
And that's 2-2 for you in terms of two original opponents being rescheduled. What did you know about Istvan Hazini, and how long did you have it? Was it literally on the day you found out? How long was it until you found out?
Basically, Freddie called me on the day that my fight got cancelled. So I explained to him, and Freddie said, if you want, like you told me before, that would you be interested in inviting one of my Ukrainian boxers called Istvan? I said, yeah. I never knew much about him. Probably seen him on the European championships when I watched it online, but never knew too much about him. So I always say to myself, I love a challenge, love to get out there and give him my all. All I'm doing now, all I'm interested in is the 50-50s. Know what I mean? That's what I want.
And before we go on to your next fight, which is a banging 50-50 on a great platform, we talk about the Istvan Hazini fight. For me, who had never watched you box before, it didn't look like he had a 2-3 year layoff. It was a close 50-50 contest. Obviously, his record at the time, it was his debut, it was his professional debut. And of course, you had the more experience, you've been in the ring before, and you talk about that. It was 58-56 on the scorecards. A close contest, could have been a draw again, could have gone your way. Break down the contest, and do you agree with the scorecards? Obviously, we know what happens with a debutant coming in, but do you feel like it went his way, or could it have gone a draw or your way?
It could have. Look, how I say it is, I watched it back without the commentators. I watched it back without the commentators or anything. I just put it on silent. Like, I feel like I've done enough. I feel like it could have just been a draw or a win for me. Yeah. But I'm glad that Istvan got his first win. Know what I mean? That is a good buzz starter for him. Know what I mean? He's a good fighter, but it should have been a draw at least, you know? But then I could have gone.
Oh, sorry. I keep doing that. No, you're good.
It could have been it could have went off as draw and I could have kept my own, but unfortunately I didn't get to keep that. But I'm kind of glad that I lost my own because the pressure's not on me no more.
No.
You know what I'm saying? Now I can just be myself and just go out there and just do what I do best.
and box without pressure. And I'll ask you this later, but I know it's a different sport, but it's like football. When you're fighting for something, when you're fighting for the top six, the top four, or even a title, so much pressure. But then once you're out of the race, you play so much better because there's no more pressure there. You talk
Yeah.
about this one. What did Ishran do good in the ring? And I don't want to call it like Ben Whittaker style, but were you knocked down, or was it like a standing eight kind of, and then he kind of showboated a little bit?
No, like I was off balance. You know what I mean? He just caught me while at the right time when I was off balance. That's all. He didn't knock me down. He didn't get an 8 standing count. He just tapped me on my head, and then he thought it was a knockdown or a standing 8 count, whatever he thought, and he started showboating. Personally, I think that probably looked good to the judge. I never know, and they probably gave him that score on that thing. But obviously, before that, we had a little head of cash as well. That would caused me to have a little cut on my head. I was right that time. I was kind of trying to get back to my senses, so my legs was kind of like jelly. But I had to carry on and be a warrior that I am. You know.
I love that. And you showed the warrior you are. And in your first 6-round contest, not many do that, go straight from a 4 to 6-rounder. How do you feel? And before we go on to your next contest, do you feel like that's gave you the experience going into the next one?
Yeah, it gave me a much more experience to go in. And for my next contest, I got another tough 50-50, yeah, against a 5-0 fighter. So happy days. So he's a real good matchroom fighter. He's signed to Eddie Hearn. So once again I am grateful and happy that I went through the fight with Ishran. That is going to carry me into this fight here, because right now I'm training really, really hard for this fight.
Preparation for this fight. So you talk about that then from June, which was your last outing, now September against Lady Buttigieg, 5-0, a matchroom fight, as you said. You broke it down for me. Signed by Eddie Hearn. He's fought great fighters. He's fought abroad. He's done the experience. He's fought at the Copper Box. He's fought on major platforms, on big undercards, on the zone. How do you feel going into this fight on September the 7th on Johnny Clark's Top Tier Show? And how did this fight come about? And when were you aware that it was penciled in and informed about this?
You know, I was aware of this fight when my manager asked me, do I want to fight on this date? I'm like, I can't fight because I have stitches. So he said to me, oh, okay, cool. Let me know when the stitches come out, then we can get you a fight, yeah? So when I told him that my stitches are out, he got me a fight prior. He got me a fight with a guy called Joel. Do you know Joel? He trains with Anthony Yard. Yeah, I got offered that fight, yeah, on Boxer recently, but
the
I
one
couldn't
that just
take
went
it.
past.
Yeah, I couldn't take it because of stitches. You know what I mean? That would have been a good fight. You know what I mean? But then after my stitch came out, the other day I got asked by my manager, do you want to fight on the 7th against the Ferdinand? I said, hell yeah, let's do this.
And would you say this is a bigger one than the last time? Of course, everyone dreams of debuting, and not just debuting, but everyone dreams of fighting at York Hall, being a main event one day. Where do you compare this? Because this is a bigger name, respectfully. I'm not to discredit Ishran, but as he's going, his high profile, his high figure, both great last 2 fighters you've had, by the way. But do you feel like this is a bigger fight and a bigger stage than the last one, or do you not even look at it in that aspect?
Do you know, like, a stage is a stage to me. You know, I'm here to perform. I'm an entertainer. I'm a gladiator, warrior. So anywhere the fight is, I'm gonna come and do my best. And anyways, this is gonna be the one big stepping stone for me, a good learning curve for me as well. Nice little learning, like, activity for me. So when I got there, I'm gonna learn a lot and show how I do it, because I know this opponent is a lot younger than me. He's 19, I believe. I'm 30 this year. So it's gonna be youth against like a,
yeah.
You know what I mean? So it's gonna be it is gonna be like a good fight. Trust me.
Like most recently on the TNT Sports card, Echo Esman versus Owen Cooper, the young, uprising, up-and-coming guy versus the experience. So you talk about that there. What do you know about your opponent, and have you watched any of him before on the Matchroom cards?
Yeah, I remember watching him on the Matchroom card before. So like he's very elusive. Very, he looks tall. He looks tall. He got a good 1-2, you know. But yeah, but that's nothing that haven't dealt with before out my whole life, you know. But I've been down hit harder than life than by anyone's punch. And anyways, I dealt with this prostate, so nothing ain't stopping me. He got to try really hard to stop me, you know.
I love that, and if you can overcome that, and which you did, nothing to challenge compared to that, and that's amazing and inspirational, as I said prior. But now, Johnny Clark's top tier shows, they're 50-50 contests. They're the definition of 50-50. There's no home fight, there's no away fight. Everyone's treated the same, and also going into the night, it's a stacked card. You got title fights on that card. You got debut turns. You got big names returning. It's a major platform, and also, like I said, everyone calls it Emily Matchroom because you get your reels, you get your pictures, you get your promo viz, and you get your time walking down the ring. You get your minute of your promo, and then you get the fire action, and then you're in there in the ring. Talk about this one. Obviously, he's 5-0. You're 1-1. God willing, there's a 0 on your record, and that is not a win yet. Are you looking to make this your first professional win?
Yes, I am looking for that. I'm coming like a storm and thunder and lightning. I'm coming with all Bruce Almighty. Like, I need this, and I do need it a lot. You know what I mean? I need to show everyone that I can do it. You know what I'm saying? So I've been in 2 fights. Unfortunately, I got a draw, and then the last one it was a loss. It will be nice for me to even it all out 1-1. You know, make it look pretty. You know, but yeah. But if I don't get this win, yeah, in God's willing, I just hope I do. It ain't end of the road. You know what I'm saying? I'm a fighter, because the old school fighters, some of them have lost. Some of the best fighters have lost their first few fights, and then they started to become world champions.
Johnny
so it
Nelson.
never ended on. Johnny Nelson, exactly. Look at Lomachenko. He lost his I think he lost his second fight.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that never stopped him from shining. So
No.
I'm not gonna stop shining. I'm ready. You know what I mean? I'm ready.
And before we conclude and I'll let you go, what do you do better than him, and what are you going to bring on? Like, you've explained what you're going to bring, but is it going to be a decision? Is it going to be a war? Is it just by any means necessary having your hands raised? Are you looking for the knockout? Are you looking for the upset? Because there's been Queensbury fighters that have been upset, Matchroom boxers, and Johnny had 2 Matchroom boxers on the last card, and I went 2-0. It's great to have a Matchroom boxer on, but are you looking to cause that upset and then maybe get Eddie Hearn and Matchroom and all boxing's eyes onto you?
Yeah, look. The plan is to cause an upset always. I'm here to take anyone's oath. That's what I come for. Yeah, I'm here to take anyone's oath. I ain't afraid to hit hard. I'm not afraid to come forward. I do not take a step back. So I'm coming to make an upset. That's what I'm doing, and I'm being dead serious.
I love that, and that's a great mindset. Just before I let you go, I want to take it off of boxing for a little bit. So if I was to encounter you on a street or in a park or just anywhere in public, who's Kane Morgan as a person, and describe yourself characteristically?
Let me tell you something. See me, I like to spend time with my dog, you know? Like, I'm a loving guy, so I go out, hang out with my dog, hang out with my friends. We go out, we ride dirt bikes, we do stuff like I like to see family. More like I'm a big family man as well. So I like to cook. I like to listen to music and just go down to my local pub and just socialize with the lads, you know what I mean? And just bust, joke, have fun, you know?
I love
You know
that.
what I'm saying? And also I
Obviously.
was, and also I was a, also I also like to chill with my ex army friends because I was a soldier. I
Oh,
was, so I done a few years in the military. So it would be nice to hang out with some of my soldier friends. You know what I mean?
and do they come to your shows to support?
Yes, a few do. A few do. Yeah. I love my brothers.
I love that, and that's sick because I interviewed Badax the other day. He serves in the RAF, and thank you for that because that's incredible. And look, people watch war movies online and people watch stuff, but never actually go. So, what did you learn in the military? Not only physically, because we can see where the conditioning comes from, but
Yeah.
what did you learn mentally, and what did it teach you? Not only discipline, but what did it teach you as a person?
Like obviously before I went in, I was very angry person. Very angry. Had a short temper. At the time before I joined the army, I was with the wrong crowd. I was going through courts and that, yeah, I was looking at jail time for joint enterprise of what my friends done, of being at the wrong place at the wrong time and also doing things that I shouldn't be doing. And the army kind of saved me in a way of making me mature as a man from early. And it taught me how to respect myself and how to be a man, you know, because I never really had my dad around. My dad came around in my life when I was like 13, 14 years old. So I was kind of troubled. So the army had me leveled and ironed straight, how my mum tried to have me ironed out, you know? So
I
yeah.
love that. And talk about that. How many years were you in the army, and from what age?
No, I joined when I joined when I was 21
Hmm.
and I left around 23 due to I got medical discharged due to having Raynaud's. So they had to let me go.
And then now a few other questions. You can either take this quick fire. I know you've kind of explained the music prior, but it could be either one singular or you could just pick multiple amounts. What's your favorite film of all time? What's your favorite TV series? And what's your favorite song? So that's genre of music. You don't have to actually say one, but if you could just, yeah, pick your favorite movies, TV series, and songs.
My favorite movie has got to be this boxing classic film. I got a few. So it's the Cinderella Man, Raging
Hmm.
Bull, and Bleed for This. Yeah. And my favorite genre of music is reggae, dancehall, and bashment. Yeah.
Love that.
And what was the other one again?
TV series.
TV series. At the moment, it was oh, it was that new one on Netflix called what's that one called again? I can't remember what it was called.
I
It's
know
called
Bridgerton's on there. That's kind of
um
like newish. That's come back out.
again.
I know there's one called Bridgerton that all the girls are loving, but I'm not
Supper
sure.
Cell. That's it. Supper Cell.
Huh?
So it's called Supper Cell.
Okay, nice. What's it about?
It's about it's about these these black people that had that either had single cell and that had like the trace of single cell, yeah, but the single cell was like powers. So they
Hmm.
had that one can pause time, one that can run really fast, one can control things with her mind, one that was really strong. There is one guy that had all of them at once, so he had to go and find all of them to try and save the future, you know.
That's
So
sick.
it was a good little series.
And you mentioned that there. That's kind of thrown me back. I used to kind of ask these questions. Talk about that. If you could be any superhero in the world, or you could be yourself, but you could have any superpower, what superpower slash superhero would you be?
I want to be like Luke Cage.
Mm,
You know what I mean?
love
Strong,
that.
that can eat bullets. You know. You know what I mean? Because I'll be unstoppable. You
I
know.
love that. And this next contest is contested at super middleweight. You fought super welterweight. Sorry, you fought at middleweight prior. If you could have a dream opponent, could be anyone, could be a YouTuber, could be a celebrity, could be a rapper, could be anyone in boxing professionally, and a venue to headline to sell out for a world title fight. Who you picking, and who do you want to fight? Who do you want to fight, and where do you want to fight?
I over in the AGM or the where the top fighters like Boots, for that Boots and Crawfords, yeah, and Canelo. I would love to fight those three, the tough fighters, you know.
That
But
would
it
be the
was,
dream.
yeah, the big dream. But I always wanted to fight Floyd Mayweather on the expedition.
Oh, we could get that
You know,
done soon.
we can get that done. You know what I mean? But I got a friend that knows Floyd personally, and he fought on his on one of his expedition shows when he fought that guy from
The Geordie guy.
yeah, Geordie guy, yes.
Yeah.
Uh,
I've got his name in my mind, but I've got the face. I just literally the name's not there.
yeah,
I think it was Chalmers, Aaron Chalmers, or
yeah,
something like.
Chalmers, yeah,
Yeah,
Chalmers, yeah, yeah.
and that would be sick. God willing, sell out Vegas, and that's where all the money's at, money may. And before
Exactly.
before I let you go as well, we saw Terence Crawford do it last year. If you could have any rapper or you could have a collab, who do you want walking out to the ring?
It gotta be Kano. Same name
Oof.
as Kano. You know,
Yeah,
keep it East London, baby. You know what I mean? Always
love that.
had Kano. You know
Where
what I
are you
mean?
from again?
I grew up in North, but I'm currently living in East. I've been living in East for a long time now. So yeah.
Nice. Love that. And just before I let you go, a question I had on my mind earlier is, what has boxing taught you, and what have you gained and learned from boxing?
Boxing taught me how to be a man from early and how to respect others. It took me recently to have that proper sportsmanship, you know, because I used to not like losing. You know what I mean? But then I learned to be a gentleman. It taught me how to be a gentleman. There is a lot of boxers nowadays that are not a gentleman like. So they need more boxers to have that traditional, old school traditional way of being a gentleman. So the boxing have taught me that, you know, because one thing from the last fight, a lot of people have come up to me. One of the presenters came up to me on Instagram, and he said to me that, well, you're a very respectful fighter with a good fight. You hold yourself well, and you conduct yourself as a gentleman. You know what I mean? So yeah, boxing taught me a lot. Taught me how to be a man. Taught me how to respect others and how to be a gentleman. You know.
And Kane, something you mentioned there, and I should have asked you earlier on. You talked about what boxers taught you, but who did you look up to and idolize in boxing? Whether it be a boxer or a different athlete, you could have it boxing wise, or you could have it family wise. Who did you look up to growing up?
I looked up to Sugar Ray Robinson, um, Archie Moore.
Mhm.
I looked up to like the likes of Sugar Ray Leonard, Marvin Hagler, Floyd Mayweather, my godfather that trained Kirk Lang, because the stuff that he taught me, because he was my trainer before he died when I was 17. So he trained me from scratch. My godfather did. So from the age of 14, he had me training me in the garage with just a mirror and one little boxing bag with nothing else, you know. But he's put his whole dedication into me to the day that he died.
I love
So
that.
yeah,
God rest his soul, and he's forever proud of you and looking down on you. And you talk about that there. It's just like the Rocky move. It's just like the Creed move. It's just a mirror, a bag, and it's you training. How cool was that? And to take inspiration not only from someone who's blood, who's family, but who had so much knowledge to pass down.
and I mean, let me tell you something. The man had a lot of knowledge. He knew a lot of great coaches. Like he was good friends with Emmanuel Stewart. He was good friends with Angelo Dundee. you know. So like I couldn't ask for a better godfather than him, you know. So yeah, so he gave me a lot of knowledge that he passed down. So I passed it down to the youths that I teach at times ABC. You know what I mean? So it'd be good that, and also I teach at the gyms that I work at 12 rounds. I'm Buddha bot, so I give them my knowledge and my experience. You know.
I love that, spreading the wisdom and passing it on, and that's how life's meant to be. So, before we conclude, for those that haven't seen you box, and obviously people can find your last fight on YouTube, on Box Nation, major platform. But for those that haven't ever seen you box, describe your fighting style, orthodox southpaw, and how you fight. Because I've seen it live, but for the fans that have never seen you box, and those who have, describe your style.
Yeah, my style, like I'm like a full throwback fighter. That's what I call myself. I'm not like a new school fighter. I got like an old school style that I like to just go in and just send the punches in, and just like I like to move. I like to do with rhythm. You know what I mean? I like to hit hard. You know, I'm an exciting fighter. You know,
Mhm.
so yeah, that's how I can describe myself.
I love to hear that. And uh, if you care to share it, who are some of the biggest names that you've sparred?
Biggest names that I've sparred. I sparred. Do you know Chris Evangeli?
Hmm.
Yeah, the Flash. I sparred him
Yeah,
because
yeah.
yeah, because he's from my old amateur gym originally, Evangeli. Um, also sparred his brother Andreas. Once he's pretty good. They're all good. You know what I mean? Very good. I remember Chris. He caught me with a good little chicken punch because I was hitting too hard, and he reminded me like who's the amateur and who is a pro. You know what I mean? So he had these, yeah. So yeah. So I learned from him. Sparred Jordan Granham.
Hmm.
Yeah, he was one of my first spars out of my whole boxing. Proper spar, Jordan
Love that.
Granham. Uh, that's coming up now. He just turned pro with WBM. His name's Emmanuel. You probably will see him on the circuit. He just signed a contract with him. He's a good.
Was that the one today that just got posted?
Yes, yes,
Yeah.
yes, yes.
Yeah, I
He's a
dropped him a
good.
follow, he followed back. So real recognizes
Yeah,
real.
yes. He definitely. He's a good fighter. Just keep your eye out on him. You
Hmm.
know what I mean? And I sparred Carl Fowl
Yo!
as well from yeah, Carl
Yeah.
Fowl. And I mean, I would love to do some more rounds with him because he's a good, tough, tough sparring partner that I had. So he's tall, southpaw,
Uh-huh.
and strong. So
And
it's
I've
good.
got to ask you, because they're identical, literally to the height, to everything. Do you ever get them confused?
No, I
You
can
don't.
tell which one's yeah. I can tell which one because you see when you've been in the ring with one of them, you know which one's which. You know, one of them's bigger than the other. You know,
Oh, is
that's
it?
how I can tell. You know,
Uh,
yeah, that's how I can tell one is bigger than the other.
and before we conclude, are you a football fan?
Not as much how I used to. I haven't followed football since I was like 11, but I still watch it here and there. You know what I mean? But I'm still an Arsenal supporter.
Arsenal. And the last two got like just like your third professional contest, the first two times, unfortunately, it was so close finishing second. And obviously it's like stars aligning. And I'm someone that's so not just superstitious, but so like OCD. So I align them and make comparisons. Do you believe third time's going to be a charm with your professional contest? And do you think third time's a charm for Arsenal to win the league this time around?
Of course, anything is possible. You know. Third time lucky. You know. I believe in luck. You know, so the tables turn. You know, it comes with being grateful in life. Yeah, things come to those that wait. Good things come to those that wait. You know,
So
I
yeah.
love that saying. It's a great saying. And before I let you go, is there anything you wanted to get off your chest or anything that I haven't covered?
Obviously things have been said on social media, on the with the opponent. Obviously I don't talk much, but one thing I am gonna say, small axe chops down big tree. That's one thing I'm gonna say. That's one of my sayings. Small axe cut down big tree. So so he has to be ready to get chopped down by the axe man. You know what I mean?
Oh, love that. And has that come from your opponent? Has that come from his fans? Who's that come from?
No, obviously he's fans, you know what I mean? Because they don't know me. They seen the box wreck and they
Yeah,
are probably thinking that I might easily push over. But one thing I'm gonna say, I ain't no pushover. I'm just as dangerous as any fighter. So stop making it hard for your opponent, for my opponent, because I'm gonna
because
come
they're
out with
fueling
pure
you.
smoke.
They're giving
Yeah,
you more
it
energy.
just more energy, more fire, more determined to hit hard, more determined to push forward. You know what I mean? Remember, I'm the old dog. I'm coming up for him.
Mhm. And another saying, you talk about acts and stuff, and there's a saying, obviously it's not come from him, but the smaller dogs bite, the bark, the big dogs don't bark, they bite. So you talk about that. Before I let you go, penultimate question I have for you. What's your one motivational message to the world for fans to block out the outside noise, block out the haters, block out the negativity, and follow and pursue their dreams?
Like, just do what you want to do and don't listen to anyone that got bad things to go and say about you. Don't let no one tell you what you should do for your career. Don't let no one tell you what you cannot and can do. You are the boss. That's your life. That's your career. Go and step out there. Go give it all your best, all what you got. And one thing I'm going to say, forget everyone else. You're going to have haters. You're going to have people that don't like you. You're going to have some people that are going to love you. You cannot please everyone. Just please yourself and become the best fighter, best footballer, best singer, best everything that you want to be. You know, life is too short to worry about everyone else and care about what everyone else thinks. You know what I mean? But I just want to say, yeah, just focus on you.
I love that, Kane. Not only is that inspirational for you, not only inspirational for me, and it helps me, but inspirational that everyone else listens to that. Before I let you go, what's your message to your family, your friends, your sponsors, your manager, your team, your coach, everyone that supports you, loves you, and is going to purchase tickets, be there on the night and watch on the live stream? And what's your final message to not only your people, but to Laylee as well on the night on September 7th on Johnny Clark's Top Tiers Diligent show?
Yeah, I just want to thank my mum, my brother, my sisters, my coach, my manager for getting me this fight, my coach for putting his whole time and effort after he's been having his first child. He's been dedicating himself to me as well. I want to say thank you to all the fans that have supported me out through my time coming back into boxing. Everyone's been amazing. I love everyone. And even to my opponent, I want to say good luck. Best man wins. You know what I mean? So best man wins. I hope we both come out safe and with full health, you know, and tell him God bless.
I love that. Kane, thank you so much for this amazing podcast. Thank you for sharing your time. Thank you for sharing your wisdom and your story. Hope everyone takes motivation from this and looks forward, and it provides a great build up to the fight on September the 7th. Johnny Clark's Top Tier show on Diligent. It'll be on YouTube somewhere. If not, purchase your tickets to be there in the arena. Kane, Morgan, God bless you, my man. I appreciate this. Thank you for your time. All the best on the night, and God willing, your first professional win, and you called a major upset. Thank you, bro.
Yeah, thank you, bro. Thank you so much. God bless you to you, bro.
God bless.